Hier, Junge. King Khan. Ja, honey singer.
Hello, friends. Welcome to another edition of Bits and Banter, the chat show that discusses tech and business. And this week, Raj, we'll discuss about two events, totally two unconnected events. One is a Malayalam movie, another is Neuralink, that Elon Musk event. I mean, on the face of it, they have nothing in common. But our challenge is to bridge these two things, two unconnected connected things, and make it interesting for the readers. Though we'll make jokes on the way, we'll still make them interesting because the subject at core is technology and brain. Two subjects that have always fascinated mankind. So first off, what would you want to take up, the Malayalam movie or the Neuralink? The choice is yours, Raj.
So see, when it comes to Elon Musk, you can connect anything to anything. So that is not a problem at all.
That's a good way to start.
So, and the second thing, even better is you said it is about technology and brain.
Human brain.
Since I personally like both. I can start anywhere.
You can speak for both of us, Raj.
So for me, see, the Neuralink thing is something which is interesting because I think maybe it's also the reason for that is over the last 7-8 years I've been working with understanding my brain. Forget about other people's brain.
And I'll just hold you for a minute. Viewers, I'll just point out that Raj is practicing NLP and he is into psychology and other stuff. He is a master in those things. So he'll have a lot of insight to tell us. Go ahead, Raj. Sorry.
Thank you, Bala, for dropping me right in it. So yeah, like Bala said, NLP is Neuro Linguistic Programming. Neuro means neurons, linguistic means language, and programming, we all know, it's related to computers. So the concept behind NLP is as old as I think humanity, because the fact is that we think a thought, and the thought actually, the more we think about something, that thought actually starts generating pleasant or unpleasant impulses in the body, which you feel in the body. I mean, it is as old as humanity. I mean, it's like a child wanting to tell you that it is hungry when it can't speak. So it feels a pang in the stomach somewhere, and it knows that it needs something, and it hollers, which is what many adults also do today. I mean, we have not changed. So
just as well.
So it's like if imagine that I want my spouse to sort of give me a back massage. I won't tell her I want a back massage. I'll say, oh, my body is paining, and then I expect her to figure out that, okay, I need a body massage. See how we work.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting.
Human behavior, and because it is interesting, so I got sort of hooked into Neuralink. For me, invasive surgery of any sort. So let me say right up front that this is my view. I don't expect anyone to subscribe to this view. Invasive surgery needs to be a last resort, not the first response, which seems to be what Elon Musk is suggesting, which sort of makes me a little uncomfortable. So I will also bring in a small bit, Bala, here. For all viewers who have not heard about him, this guy is a pretty famous psychiatrist and doctor working in Canada. His name is Norman Doidge. I don't know how to
Doidge.
Yes, that's the thing. So he came up with some seminal work over the last 4-5 years. So he is working at the Columbia University, and thanks to coronavirus, I think one of his major programs actually got postponed, so he couldn't sort of get in. But then I would suggest that you, all of you who are interested in knowing what the mind is about. By the way, the brain is actually not the mind. We'll get to that at some other program.
Some other point. Exactly.
And the fact is that in medical science, I think the brain is one organ about which the least amount is known. So any experiment, any work towards that would be seminal, would be fantastic. I think hats off to, having said that, surgery is not probably not the first way. Hats off to Elon Musk for sort of going that way. I think there is something to be had there. So the books I was referring to was The Brain's Way of Healing.
Okay.
Which was written, I think, at least 5 years back, if I'm not mistaken. And 7 or 8 years before that, Norman Doidge had written a book called The Brain That Changes Itself, in which he actually had case studies of people who So, I mean, the theory is that there is a left side of the brain, right side of the brain,
That's
and left side, is
that's a
supposed to
standard
handle
thing.
this, blah, blah, blah. All of that, I'm sure many people know. If they don't bother. It's nothing important, because as long as there is a brain, I think it will keep us in good health.
Good.
So,
Well put.
I mean, yeah, and many of us who don't have much, who don't use it much, we are still in good health, like our politicians. So, anyway, so coming back to the real issue, in Brain That Changes Itself, Norman Doidge had actually, I think, written 10 or 12 case studies. I'm forgetting now, where he proved beyond doubt, where those case studies proved beyond doubt that the brain has the capacity to heal itself.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So he came out and shared. See, for example, one of the examples I've seen in my own family is a person who was paralyzed from one side, from the left side, and then the guy actually could sing very well, despite the fact that his speech was not very clear. When you ask him to sing, the words automatically used to emerge. The music would emerge. He would just
That's
sing
interesting.
out.
That's interesting.
So I've seen this with my own eyes. So so that is what it said. The brain can reinvent itself, can change itself, is what the story is. So
I mean, now it's good
all
that
good.
yeah, it's
All
good
good
that
to
you
Norman
brought
this thing. Sorry, all well for Elon Musk. But the fact is that this business has been going on much before, compared to the hoopla that we are seeing now. I'll put it that way.
See, because it's good that you brought about paralysis, because when I read a lot of reports on Neuralink, one of the things that they were not really happy about is it's still the Neuralink idea still exists in some kind of a dystopian, utopian world. It doesn't have any specific relevance to the various neurological issues that individuals face. Exactly, paralysis is one thing. See, the Neuralink company, Neuralink, by the way, is the company that Elon Musk has floated for the specific idea. Had in fact talked about paralysis and insomnia and depression, other mental disorders, if that is the word I am using it within quotes. If he had specifically talked about those things, and this Neuralink program would address that. But during the press conference and during the live YouTube event, those things were not really addressed. It was still some kind of a as I said, an utopian event, some kind of a science fiction event where they just talked about an implant. I'm making it very laymanish, where they just talked about an implant. They talked about they used a word called the link, which is exactly the implant they would want to be placed inside a human brain. This link would be exactly the link between a human brain and a computer. It's the kind of an interface. So this is what the whole plan is all about. But he says the human mind can become some kind of a, using that implant, it can be a radar. You can have a radar vision. You can you can come out with a symphony in your mind. See, all those technological ideas that you had read in science fiction novels, he says they can come alive. But he didn't specify, as you said, there was a lot of hoopla about it, but he didn't exactly get down to the specific and talk about what this implant can actually do. And more specifically, there was no specific timeline for these events. He didn't commit himself to any timeline. So it is still talked about as an idea, an abstract thing. So, as you said, the whole idea of brain, we have very little knowledge of how our brain works. So our brain does not have enough knowledge about itself.
And then the bigger problem we have is we have very little knowledge about how Elon Musk's brain works. Because for starters, I mean, he started off by removing the engine from the car. I don't know what he removed from the spaceship. Now he wants to remove the brain from the head. I don't know where he's going. So, I mean, but
he's a fascinating character.
Yeah, he's a fascinating.
Love him or hate him, you can't ignore him, as the cliche goes.
No, he has done enough to be not ignored. So I can because see, he set certain trends which have become par for the course today. For example, when he talked about driverless cars, and suddenly everyone and their uncles were making driverless cars, right? And now I don't know what he is going to do with the spaceships. No, I don't know. Maybe he will send many of us out of out into eternity somewhere. I mean, which is fine. I mean, it's better
But you have
than
driverless cars. I mean, we in Chennai, we are not really surprised because we have something called share autos in Chennai, where the auto driver sits along with four others in the same seat. So it's practically a driverless vehicle because he cannot even sit because he shares that small seat, the driver seat, with four other people. So
yeah. So see,
he
Chennai
holds
has done better.
yeah,
Chennai has done better. Chennai has multi-driver cars.
multi-driver
Yeah,
cars,
so
and
yeah,
I mean Chennai doesn't have a traffic system, so if
yeah.
that kind of helps.
So to coming back to this point, I mean, see the scenario that I see going forward is, so like I said, invasive surgery with computer chips. For example, I mean, we have still not been able to figure out the reality about the pacemaker, right? We have had
Exactly.
pacemaker accidents. Now, what happens when a foreign particle is sitting in your head? So there
And
are
the
questions
brain
galore.
context is very
Yes,
corrosive.
yes, and the point is there are. I mean, like I said, there's very little known about the brain. Even today, I think probably 75% of the brain is actually outside of human comprehension. I'll put it that way. I didn't want to bring the mind in again.
Okay.
So that is the key part here. I really don't know what he's specifically talking to. I think you went into specifics. To me, my only connection with this was the reports that came in. Honestly, I read it. It didn't sort of. Maybe my brain needs surgery. Maybe that is the reason. It just didn't
You
get
need
it.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, I need Musk alone to
Musk.
tell me what is happening with my brain, because I don't think it's going in any particular direction. So
We in Chennai, we just need a whole space Musk, man. Because
yeah,
its
there
body
you
odor
go.
is horrible with the
Yeah,
Chennai weather. So you just
there
need
you
all.
go. Yeah,
And talking about invasive surgery, and I'll talk about invasive technology, which is at the core of the film See You Soon, where the technology that we use, the technology that we are now part of, the Zoom meetings, the Google Duo calls, everything, our WhatsApp messages, our Facebook chats, everything is used to track a person. I mean,
yeah,
which is not something new, but when it comes through a film, and everything is cracked on a computer screen or a small TV screen or a video screen, a digital screen. So that is another, which is a film which was enjoyable, which was gritty, which was interesting. But at the end of the day, it also left us a smidgen of unease in your mind about where we are heading towards. So you saw that movie by any
no,
chance before
I
I
have not
start off?
seen it. I have not seen
Okay.
it. But then what you say, Bala, makes a lot of sense, for the simple reason that I think it is up to. See, I mean, this is not. I'm not saying this just for fun. I mean, I'm saying that I think technology was supposed to ease our lives, and if each one of us were to actually go back and look into what it has done for us, you would realize that it has actually created more time and made it so invasive where we find it very difficult to stay without a piece of technology at all. So I'll tell you, the toughest 10 days of my life was spent in a meditation camp called Vipassana, if any one of you has heard about it. If
Exactly.
not, please go and you can look it up. There, the moment you enter, it's a 10-day meditation program, and the moment you enter, the first thing they confiscate is your phone. And mind you, we have smart Alex there who actually bring two phones. They give away
Oh,
one phone and keep the other phone in their almiras.
I mean that defeats the whole purpose,
Yeah,
man.
so the question is, what brings you there? So the point is, can I stay away from technology when I need to? So for example,
And I
can I
need to.
not?
That's a
Yeah,
line that needs to be
that is a
underlined.
big thing. So how many of us actually wake up first thing in the morning and look at our cell phones? I think pretty much all of us. I
You're
mean,
talking about me, Raj.
no, it is all. Yeah, I guess so. All of us. It's just a question of the first 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know. So what I
15
started
minutes
doing,
is the
yeah,
upper limit, man.
yeah. What I started doing is I keep my phone and myself in two different rooms
Oh,
these
good.
days. So that is the first step. Why am I doing it? Just to see how much I can do without technology.
That's a good
Having said that, yeah,
self-experiment.
having said that, technology does help. For example, Bala is sitting in Chennai. I'm sitting in Bangalore. We have been running this program for 6 episodes. We intend to bore your pants off forever.
Ever.
So yeah, there
That's
you
good.
go. So yeah, so there you go. So my point is, it is valuable, yet it can get invasive. So I think that is what, Bala, you are pointing out about the movie, because that poignancy comes in at that moment. I mean, is technology that important? So, I mean, I remember somebody, a joke on television many years ago when television was the invasive technology. The mom comes and tells the son, a kid, a 4-year-old kid, grandma is dead. And the son turns back and asks, who killed her?
Who killed her?
Because that's all he's seeing on television, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
today we are way ahead of that. Now your imagination is as good as mine or
Yeah.
Elon Musk.
See, because when I say invasive, because we have let ourselves, we are almost a prisoner of our digital devices. We give out so much information. So it becomes easy for companies, governments to invade into our privacy. Share a personal story, Raj. I mean, it just happened last 15 days. I had booked a few grocery items on a online grocery platform for reasons of journalistic integrity. I will not reveal the name. I'll just say it was. I'll call it as Rio. The company's
Yeah,
name is Rio. I'll
yeah,
not go into the real name.
yeah.
So, anyway, what really happened was the company asked for 2 days for delivery, which is fine because it was during the lockdown. Fine, which is fine. After 2 days, they didn't deliver. On the third day, when they asked them, they said they came to my house. I was not in. It was a pure lie because I was very much at house, and not just me. The entire, the rest of my family members, they were all inside. So they were just plain lying. So what they told me was, since they had gone back, I asked, can you redeliver? They said it's impossible. The company doesn't allow that. I was surprised because we have no other e-platform does that, because they come back and deliver, which is very simple. Forget it. What they said was they can't deliver, but they can deliver the same set of goods if I pay again, because I had already paid for that set of grocery items, which they said they will refund it for after 15 days. But if I want the same thing, they will redeliver, but I have to pay again upfront, which is a risk I was not ready to take. So
Yeah.
I said, you just I don't want to reorder, you just return my money. They said that they'll do it. It took me 10 days, 14 days. I waited for the 14 days they promised. The money didn't come. So after 14 days I went back to that site and went back to their customer service. By the way, their customer service guys are now almost on a first name basis to me, because I was on to them on a daily basis. So it was almost funny because I was chatting like you and I are doing. We were cracking jokes, because but the fact is I was not getting back my money. So I was talking to them every day, and you know how the customer centers work. They will talk everything without being helpful. They'll talk for 5 hours without being any full. I mean, it could be like our chat show without being helpful, but anyway, that's another thing. But for 15 more days, I kept chatting to them, and I kept going onto their site. Nothing was happening. But this is where the invasive technology part comes in. Since I was going to their site and I was talking to them, whichever other site I was going to, I was getting the advertisement of this company. See, the algorithm of all the other sites, they were convinced that I was interested in this company and I was trying to buy something. So wherever I looked into, I was seeing only the advertisement of this company.
So yeah.
Which in fact, the last thing I wanted to do was to see an advertisement of this company. I
So
was
this is
totally pissed off.
so I'll tell you the answer, Bala. So this is where, I mean, in my mind, we talk about the internet being an equalizing platform. I think it is the most inequalizing platform that exists in India today. The reason being that the ones people like you and me who are there, we get invaded by stuff which we don't want, and
We fall prey.
millions of others who need the stuff, they never get uh, stuff delivered to them. So my
That's a
answer
serious
is,
thought, man.
my answer is, I think we are talking about. This government is talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat and so many other coinages. I think digital Swaraj is one of them. I think now imagine a scenario where your local Kirana shop guy, you could reach him or her through an app like this, and that fellow will deliver it to you within 45 minutes. You don't need 2 hours
I
for
mean, that
delivery.
is what at least these companies on paper
That is the point.
promise on
So that is
paper.
the point. So I mean, the same Rio de Janeiro has also promised data at peanuts, rate of peanuts. Today, you only get peanuts. You don't get data.
Data, exactly.
So this is what is going to happen. See the larger companies, because they are these 900-pound gorillas, you can't fight them. So this is, the result of invasive technology is going to come this way also. The bigger the giant, the more authoritative it will be. And lack of, in the US, for example, they are talking about breaking down companies which are all pervading. In India, that never happens. I mean, India, the Competition Commission actually sort of approved such a case within 2 weeks, whereas normally it takes 6 months. Right?
True.
You know what I'm talking about? The same company, same organization. So the point is that this is where the challenge is. I think it's only a matter of time before people do realize it. So I know enough people who actually purchased a particular brand of data connection and realized that it was all bluster, and it wasn't actually giving them the sort of speeds or quality that
they promised in the first place.
Promised in the first place. So it's a matter of time, unless of course somebody up there cracks a whip and says, you know what, I want this done. So honestly, in your case, for example, I don't think the brand even knows about these issues.
Exactly.
Because it's all. See, we maybe Elon Musk needs to sort of do something with our collective brains, where instead of seeking out and solving problems, we should stop covering them up, which is or pushing them up.
So you're basically saying Elon Musk must put a chip in the collective brains of companies.
Exactly. Or individuals. See, my point. See, even you.
When I say collective, I'm just talking about metaphorically.
See, if we can seek out and remove and destroy and make things better, that is a better way, instead of sort of pushing everything under the carpet for our children to clean up later. That's what we have done now, right?
But
so it's a very serious note, I guess.
Yeah, that's a serious note. But one thing, when we say invasive technology, we have without actually blaming technology, we must also understand we as individuals have allowed this technology to invade our private space. We are at blame too. We are to blame.
See, that is always the case, Bala, because the point is that whenever there is a facility which will ease. So I mean, I'm sure you remember the time when you and I had to go and stand in queue to buy a ticket.
True. I've not had a ticket. I mean, talking of which, I've not seen an actual physical ticket in the last 2 years, man.
That's the point.
Flight, train, or cinema.
See, that is the point. So when there is this technology is useful, the point is the people behind it, they make it invasive silently. They don't tell you that they are making it invasive. See, I'll give you an example. So
see, these things will always be double-edged swords.
That's the point. So the point is that is where ethics comes in, which I think we will discuss some other time. All I can say is when it comes to,
when you're talking about Musk, you can't talk about ethics.
No, I would probably say whatever Musk is doing, at least the fact of the matter is that forget about the ethics. At least he is only talking about his own big ticket plans without really impacting us. So all the three things that we have talked about, you and I probably are not planning to go to space in the near future. We probably
at least not in this form.
Yeah, not in this form. Definitely, we will not be using a driverless car anywhere in India because we value our life. Because if we use that, we will be going into space.
Space in a different form.
and hopefully, since we don't have brains anyways, so big brains to claim of, we might not require any invasive surgery there, because the doctor will open and say, "Hey, there's nothing in this man. What do I do?" So I think we are safe.
Yeah, that's a good note to end this conversation. Yeah. And as the film said, the film that we talked about said, "See you soon."
Yes. See you soon. Bye-bye. Bye. Take care. Bye. And stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.
Junge, King Khan, ja, Honey Singer.